Are you still having problems with your bustiers not sitting properly, or you have gaping by the under bust area or the side seams of your bustier? Hi there, my name is Threads by Nikki and I'm a fashion designer, and today I'll be showing you how to eliminate side gapes and how to properly draft your bustier pattern. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, and let's go right into it. To start with, you'll be needing a pattern paper, your cord drill, your tape, your marker, your pencil, and of course your measurement book with your scissors. Fold your pattern paper into two, then you take your armhole point, shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust, and the actual length of your half length. Yeah, or half cut as some would say. So now is to connect the dots together. We'll make a straight row across those dots. So remember, we took our armhole, we took our bust point, we took our under bust point, and then the half length of what we're working with. Now is to divide your shoulder into two, and whatever you have, you're going to indicate that, as you can see on the screen. Yeah, so after doing that, the next thing I'll do is to connect the dots together with a straight row, and then we have our busy bodies. Next, divide your nipple circumference into two. That's your nipple to nipple. What I have is 8, so I'll be working with 4. 8 divided into 2 will give you 4. So you mark that across the points, that's all points. Then you take your cord drill and mark a straight line across the point we just created. See on the screen. On the half length, I'll be going out by 1.5 inch, as you can see. Then on the center front, I'll be going in by 1 inch. So I'll be doing this on the half length and the under bust. Please take note. Take your cord drill and mark a straight line across the point you just created. Just look closely on the screen. You will see what I'm doing. So follow same steps and mark those lines across. Now you can see what we have. So I will take my marker to indicate the lines for you so it wouldn't be confusing when I make mentions of the point we're working on. Now we'll be creating a curve for the under bust. That's the posterior curve. So you place your cord drill like so, and you mark from the bust point to your under bust. Please make sure that it is meeting the lines we created earlier. That's the 1 inch and 1.5. You just look closely, you see what I'm doing. You can see how that line blended in. So the next thing now is to determine my neckline, how deep I want it to be. So I marked 7 inches. So I'm going to work on the armhole curve. So I came in by ½ inch on the shoulder line, and I came down by 1 inch on the shoulder line. So the next thing now is to divide my bust circumference into 2. I'm going to indicate that. So I will create the shoulder slope, and then I'll connect my armhole curve from that point to meet the shoulder slope, as you can see on screen. So now I'm going in by 4 inches. So with that being said, I'll take a straight row down to the 7-inch neck depth I marked earlier. I don't know if you understand, but look closely, you would understand what I'm talking about. So I want to create kind of a sweetheart curve neckline on that neck. As you can see, just something slight like that. I don't want it to be too deep, so just a slash sweetheart neckline. So you might want to do it your free hand, or you will use your cord drill. This is to create our curve for the upper part. So I'll be going in by 0.5 inch, and I'll be going out by ½ inch. I'll be going in by 0.5 inch and out by ½ inch. So I would take my cord drill. Please make sure you place it correctly in a way it won't give you a too pointy curve. Just something good and normal. Just look closely to the screen. You can see how I placed my row, and you create your curve that way. You can see what we have. This is looking beautiful. Our bustier is already getting set. So the next thing now is to divide our body's measurement. So you divide your waist measurement by 4. Whatever you have, you mark. And remember, we went in by 2.5 inch. So you'd be replacing the 2.5 inch and plus your 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Let me take it again. Divide your waist measurement by 4, then you mark out, then you replace the 2.5 inch you took out for our bustier, and then plus your 1.5 inch sewing allowance. That's what you have. Then for the bust measurement, you do the same. Divide your bust measurement by 4, add your 1.5 sewing allowance, and then you replace whatever we took out for the bustier, which is 1 inch. You replace it. So you're going to take that same measurement to your bust point, and then under your bust point, you're going to divide your under bust circumference by 4, and then you'll be adding your sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inch, and you'll be replacing the 2.5 inch we took out for the bustier dart. So you replace anything we take out. Please make sure to replace it. If not, it's going to give you a measure issue. It's going to be messy. So whatever inch we took out for the bustier curve, you make sure to replace everything back together, and do not forget to add your sewing allowance to it. So you'd take your straight rule and connect your dots together just like you see on the screen. Next, we'll be working on how to eliminate the gaping and bulging. So on your bust point, you're going to come down by 1.5 inch. Then you're going to take that, you're going to connect it to your bust point. You see where I connected mine to? Please, you're going to connect it that way. That's the difference between your back bodies and your front bodies. You know, we have the breast and everything, so you would reduce it so it wouldn't give a gaping. Then on the under bust, you're going to go out by 0.5 inch on both sides, just like you see on the screen. Please go out by 0.5 inch on both sides, and you connect it down to the under bust point, as you can see. So this will help you to eliminate the bulging and gaping you would usually have on your bustier. Your bustier should be sitting pretty. You shouldn't have any folding or gaping when you iron them out. So this will help you prevent that effect. So here I'm just trying to connect the rule properly so you could see. Then the next thing now is we're going to take the measurement of that dart we took, which is 1 inch, and then we'll come down at the half length and we'll be adding 0.5 inches. Now this is to ensure that the front bodies isn't so short. In order to do that, since we removed 1 inch, we're going to be replacing 0.5 inch at that point. You can see the rule, how I connected the rules together. You're going to do the same for yours. So now I'll be using my marker to retrace the lines properly so you get to see them very well. At this point, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit on the subscribe button, like, comment, and share to your friends. You might be saving someone today. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell to get a notification when I post something new. So yes, I'm done retracing the steps. This on the bust point, you can see what we did there. We took out 1 inch as the dart intake to prevent it from bulging, and we replaced 0.5 inch at the down part. So you're going to be cutting out this piece. You can see our bustier is ready. For the darts we took, just use your pin and fold it in just the way you're seeing on the screen, and then you hold it in place with the pin. You do the same for the under bust side. So please, you would cut your pieces gently. You take your time so you wouldn't ruin the pattern we created. So yes, I'm supposed to complete that point, but I've already cut it out. I will do that on the fabric. So you fold in your underbust darts and you use your pin to secure it. Now you can see what we have there. It's very, precise, snatched and all that. This will help you prevent gaping. So the next thing I want to do is to cut this piece on my fabric. Place your patterns to cut out. Remember, you'll be adding 0.5 inch on all sides as allowance. For the back piece, you'll be cutting your normal back bodies. The difference is on the center back, you're going to be going up by 1.5 inch to prevent your zipper from bulging. Remember to subtract the 0.5 inch we added at the down part of the front bustier. So that will be all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.